Hey, what's up, wrestling fans? Fellow wrestling fans, I should say. Brian Walmer here. And I'm here to talk about something that a lot of people have been talking about. And that is the whole Fortune, Hogan, Bischoff, EV 2.0, storyline angles, tournaments, and all that TNA has going right now. Now, I can understand that some of you are a little confused by this. Well, it is confusing, I will admit, but let me kind of explain something here. TNA, with the storylines of being written by Vince Russo or not, TNA is trying to recapture the magic that the WWE had back in the late 90s, early to mid 2000s, with our Attitude Era. You see, TNA knows that the majority of a fan base out there wants a certain... They want a certain movement in wrestling, something that's really going to get them talking about wrestling again, get them to enjoy a company that gives them what they want. Now, I know a lot of people don't like the fact that for the past year or so, this whole TNA, Impact, the pay-per-views, most of them at times have been focused on Hogan and Flair. Now, you can't really blame Dixie Carter for that, first of all. You can't blame Dixie Carter for that. Yeah, she's listening to Eric Bischoff off and everything, but you can't really blame her. What she's trying to do is help the company. And what Eric Bischoff's probably telling her is saying, hey, look, when we at WCW first started competing with the WWE, or first started getting noticed by the WWE, it was because we had the Hogan-Flair feud going. That's what we had. And that's probably what he told her. Or something similar. He probably told her something similar to saying, hey, look, even though they can't wrestle that much anymore, if you put the focus on them, with them being like the mentors to young guys that side with the both of them, it'll get people interested in your company. Now, does that mean Hogan and Flair should be wrestling again? Not really. Does that mean Sting and Nash should be wrestling? Well, that might be the exception. Now, speaking of Sting and Nash, a lot of people want to know what the hell's going on there. You know, what's the storyline there? It's real simple. What's going on is it's going to lead into a situation where Sting is going to basically, I just got this feeling Sting's going to do something. They're going to have a storyline where Sting is basically going to reveal the truth to Dixie, and it might be at No Surrender, it might be at Bound for Glory, but it's going to be really soon. She's going to reveal the truth to Dixie about Hogan and Bischoff. That's what's going to happen. And he might even go over Dixie's head and go to her father and say, hey, look, I just got this, and go, basically what I'm saying, knowing how Vince Russo writes, and as you fans have criticized writes, knowing the way he is, he might have Sting go over Dixie's head and go to Bob Carter, Dixie's father, and say, hey, look, I don't trust Hogan, I don't trust Bischoff, this is why, I don't trust them, and I want you to do something about it. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens, but it's going to happen real soon. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not going to keep playing this out for going into 2011. They're not going to keep playing this out. They're going to end it by Bound for Glory, if not before then. Now, as far as Fortune goes, Fortune is definitely what AJ said. I mean, AJ, in character or not, is right about one thing. He, Kazarian, Doug Williams, Beer Money, and hell, even Matt Morgan, if you will, well, maybe the exception of Matt Morgan, but the ones I just mentioned are the TNA heart and soul, basically. Basically, they are the ones that TNA was built around. And I see something happening real soon about this. I see AJ Styles confronting Dixie in the ring one night. I don't know why I could be wrong, but I've got a feeling they're going to have Dixie Carter get confronted by AJ, and AJ's going to basically do something like a sort of a work shoot promo on her, where he says something like, "Look, the only reason we're with Flair right now, the only reason we're associated with Flair is because you lost complete faith in us, the ones that built TNA from the beginning." I wouldn't be surprised if he says something like that, and even goes on to say something like, basically like saying something like, basically by telling her that not only I just got this feeling. I've just got this feeling AJ's going to say something where he tells Dixie, "Look, you lost complete faith in us when you started bringing in all these guys from up north." Now they might have AJ or even Kazarian or Beer Money say something to that manner as well. It's to saying, "Hey, look, we really didn't mind certain people like Christian coming in. We didn't mind guys like Rhino coming in, Team 3D coming in. But the truth is, when you started bringing in the Angles, you started bringing in, the Booker T's, you started bringing in the Stings, you started bringing in the Nashes, the Halls, the Hogans, and the Flairs. Basically, I've got a feeling they're all basically going to tell her the same thing, that the reason they're with Flair, the reason they're together, is because she lost faith in them, and she only thinks that big-name stars can help draw people to TNA. That's what... It's going to be something along those lines. I could be wrong, but I've got a feeling we're leading to a situation like that on Impact real soon. Now, as far as EV 2.0 goes, I know a lot of people are complaining about this. A lot of people are complaining of the fact that EV 2.0 is becoming the top baby faces in the company. Let me explain the situation. The reason EV 2.0 was brought into TNA and given hardcore justice, as you all know, was for nostalgic reasons. The reasons people cheer EV 2.0, even if they do, is nostalgic reasons. That's why they do it. Now, yes, I will admit there are some people in the crowd that cheer AJ every time he comes out because you just can't boo the guy, whether you want to or not. I mean, and the same could go for Kazarian, the same could go for Beer Money. You can't boo these guys because they've been with TNA from the very beginning. And but here's the thing, you can't blame the audience for booing and cheering certain people. Remember that one video that got taken off that a fan put up? Basically, that video showed what the audience in the Impact Zone was to TNA, or was to certain people in TNA, and that's cast members. That's all they are. As soon as you walk into the Impact Zone, you're not a person anymore, you're not a fan, you're a cast member. That's what it is. That's why, they have to cheer for EV 2.0. That's why they have to cheer for guys like Hogan and all that, because they're cast members. Yes, they still do cheer for AJ. Yes, they still cheer for Kazarian, for Beer Money, for Motor City, for Generation Me. Yeah, they cheer for all those guys, but the truth is, the reason they cheer for EV 2.0 is for two reasons. Nostalgic, and the fact that they're cast members and they have to do it, or else they might get kicked out. Now, the reason Hogan gets cheered is also nostalgic reasons, but also the fact that he is a name in the business. That's why fans still cheer him. Now, the situation going on is he going to join Fortune? Is he part of Fortune? Is he and Jeff part of this group? No one really knows. I mean, everybody speculates that after what happened last week on Impact, the answer is yes. Basically, they are part of Fortune. Maybe they're not. We don't know. But again, what I'm saying, even though I know it sounds confusing, is Bound for Glory is going to be a night of revelation. It's going to be a night of revelation. Answer all our questions, I've got a feeling, are going to be answered at Bound for Glory. Are Sting Nash questions going to be answered? Our Fortune EV 2.0 thing's going to be answered, probably even before then or in between. Our thing about Hogan and Bischoff's going to be answered, and whoever they are is going to be answered. The people that Abyss refers to. Now, Abyss, spoiler alert here, still says they're coming, even though we've been told for weeks that they are Fortune. How can they be Fortune if Abyss says they're still coming? No one really knows. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's an outside promotion. Heck, we're hearing so much about this WWP promotion, this WWP. Who's to say it ain't them? But again, I've got a feeling all these questions are going to be answered at Bound for Glory. That's why we're being pulled in. They're doing this to pull us in. They're doing it to make us talk like I'm doing now. And it's all going to be answered. Everything's going to be cleared up by Bound for Glory. That's what's going to happen, whether we like to admit it or not. That's the truth. That is the fucking truth. Excuse my language, but that is the fucking truth right there. Everything's going to be answered around, in between, and at Bound for Glory, if not before then. I've got that feeling. Believe me, I've got that feeling. And I'm not trying to say it's a good feeling, but it is. And as far as the beautiful people go, I'm happy Velvet and Angelina are back together. Who isn't? This is what the beautiful people should have been like from the very beginning. I mean, they were the beautiful people when they were baby faces. Now they're baby faces again. Why the hell could they not keep them baby faces? Did they have to wait till Madison Rayne went monster, egotistical psycho on them? I mean, come on. Basically what this is the roles have been reversed. If you think about it. I mean, at this time last year, Madison was sort of like becoming a baby face, and she started with baby faces, then she went to the beautiful people. So think about it. It's kind of like turned around. And the masked lady she's with, who we all know the identity of is, now she's a heel? Come on. Everything's come full circle, basically. But it's good that the original beautiful people are back together. And you know why? Because it's going to give them more momentum, and it's what the fans wanted. That's the one right thing that TNA did. I will admit that. That's the one right thing they did. They gave the fans the original beautiful people. But as far as this whole thing with Madison Rayne goes, and Tara, yes, I said Tara, it's all going to cumulate, if you will, at not at No Surrender, but it's going to happen at Bound for Glory. And I've got a feeling there's going to be a stipulation added. It's going to be knockout title match, career versus career. Or maybe even a loser leaves TNA match. I've got a feeling it's going to be one of those. So, don't be surprised about that happening. But again, these are just my thoughts on what's going on in TNA. I know I may have made it sound more confusing, but I did my best here. Please tell me what you think. I'll talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.